Hi there, my name's Larry Georges, and I'm getting towards the end of my 78 Trans Am build, and I decided to put aftermarket seats in the front, in the buckets positions. Not really what I wanted to do. My passenger seat is in pretty good shape, it's here, but my driver's seat was total junk, and I couldn't find a suitable donor for it, so for now anyway, I got these aftermarket seats for like $350, and you'll see later when I show you the finished product, the blue matches my car, so they look pretty good. And then they came with a 4-point harness, which I sold for $40, so I have like just over $300 in them. So that'll get me going, get me on the road so I can start driving and enjoying the car. But if this should work for any second gen F body, which would be 1970 through 1981 Camaros and Firebirds. And if you're familiar with the cars, you know that the seat area, or I'm sorry, the floor area where the seat's set is anything but flat. This fly's driving me crazy. So this stock seat is, I'll call it symmetrical. It's the same on one side as it is the other. So that tells us that all of the geometry, if you want to call it that fits the profile of the floor is built into the original seat tracks, which I had for both sides in decent shape. So I decided early on that I wanted to try to reuse the seat tracks for that reason and not try to figure out all the different bushings and stuff. I think there's some aftermarket stuff that you can buy maybe, but I already had these, and like most projects, I'm way over budget. But anyway, so these seat tracks, as you know, they fit on the original seats like this. This would be the outboard side, the one with the lever. That's either passenger or driver's side. The lever is going to be on the outboard side, and then on the inboard track actually fits inside, is nested down inside the seat, which is part of the, what they have figured out on these to fit the profile of the floor. So here's my aftermarket seat. I have no idea how universal these mounting positions are for aftermarket seats. These are just the ones that I got. They are about, I'm sure it's technically a metrical measurement, but they're about 14.25 wide, and you see the stock positions are like 13. So about 1.5 inch difference. And then there's quite a bit of difference this way too. They're about 13. These are about 11, I think. Yeah, about 11. So what I came up with, and these are 8mm on these seats anyway. These are 8mm. I'm not sure the pitch, probably 1.5 threaded holes. And I had these bolts. I didn't get any hardware with the seats, unfortunately, but I happen to have these 8mm bolts that fit. So what I came up with is these blocks to make the offsets so these tracks will work. You can see this, I actually messed up on these. That hole doesn't need to be there, but on the back side I slotted these so I could put the bolts in and then slide them down and then reach up in here with a wrench and tighten them up. And then on this is the hole where the track will actually mount. And this is 2 inch by 1 inch by 1/8 inch tubing material. And 1/8 inch really isn't enough thickness for tapping that hole to take that stock bolt is a 5/16 18. So what I did is I just drilled the hole through, and then I put a bolt, and then I tacked a nut on the inside there. I hope you can see that. So anyway, that's these two are the back, and you can see the offset on the inside. It's a 3/4 inch offset. So that remember I said it's 1.5 inches wider, so that 3/4 on each side will get us our 1.5 inches narrower that we need to be. I'm going to step in the way here and tighten these up real quick. Okay, and then on the top one, you have to, so this is a 2" by 2" piece of material. It's 2 inches wide stock, cut 2 inches long. And then on the top one, you'll need a piece that's 4 inches long in order to get this hole. This is the hole that's going to receive the bolt for the track, to get it up to get this spacing correct for the stock tracks. And I had to relieve this one out, and I'll show you why I had to do that here in a second. This one doesn't need it because, like we talked about earlier, the inboard, this is the inboard side of the passenger seat. The inboard track actually nests here on the inside, so there's no interference. Okay, I'll go back and tighten those up real good later. So now this one is an easy one. Use this back hole. I'm not really sure what this other hole is for. Another application, I guess. So that's that one. This one's, you have to do a little bit more finagling around, of course, because the track actually sits on top of the bolt pattern. So you need to fix this linkage between the lever for the release, for the slide release. I'm in Kansas, so that's going to be a baling wire job. But you get this one in, and then let that come back. Be careful with that spring on there. As you just saw, it's fairly strong. Oh, darn it. Well, anyway, I'm not going to mess with that. So that's how they see. And then I went ahead and made these complete, these bottom ones, and then bolted the tracks on, and then bolted these on with the back holes, and then laid these pieces up there and actually just transferred and marked where the position of these top holes need to be. And I think that's about it, other than you'll want to stay as low as you can with this piece. It's 1 inch thick. You could probably get by with a little bit thinner, because also you probably know that headroom is not in abundance on these cars. So we're losing a little bit of headroom with this. And with these seats, I'm 6'1". It's got enough headroom, but I definitely am not going to be wearing a hat in there. I've got the driver's side already in, so let's go over and take a look at how that turned out. So you can see these seats, they fit in there nice. I did run my shoulder strap through the side harness here, where the race harness would normally go through. It feels about right. That's pretty easy to do. You just slide the seat all the way forward and then take the bolt out for your bottom mount here and just run it through and then put the bolt back in. You have to slide the seat all the way through, all the way forward to get access to this, but it feels about right. It might be right a little high on the shoulder. So I don't know. I haven't actually driven the car since I've done this. But you know, no big deal to pull it back out and run it on the outside here, and then you have to come up with some kind of a, I don't know, nice little black bungee cord or something to kind of, you'll want to retain the seat belt there. But other than that, it turned out pretty good. I'm happy. I like the way the blue looks. I don't know, I'll get in here and see if you can see I have enough headroom, just enough. So I'm happy with the way it turned out. One quick note on race harnesses. One thing I learned when I got these seats with the 4-point race harness, my idea was to use them because these seat belts, you can see here, I need to buy new seat belts, but I'll have to get that later. But my plan was to use those race harness, thinking that that would be, you know, having 2 shoulder straps would be safer, especially with an old car without all the, you know, airbags and safety features, which may be true if done correctly. But what I was going to do, my thought was to use these mounts down here for the front side and then run the strap through and then bring the back down and mount it to the back of the seat, where the seat bolts mount on the back. Well, doing a little research online, that's actually a horrible idea. And if you think about it, it's pretty easy to see why. Because if you have this seat belt going over your shoulders in the back and back down, you get in an accident and it's just the forces of the seat belt are just going to want to draw your shoulders down and it can crush your vertebrae. So thank you for the guys that put those videos out showing how to do it correctly. So to do it correctly, you either mount it to a bar across the back here, because there's an allowable angle window that this strap coming through this hole here is at. Or you can also run it back and hook it into the rear seat belt mounting positions. Well, either way, you're going to lose use of your back seat basically, which I wasn't willing to do. So I'm going to stick with the factory seat belts, and that's about it. I hope this video will be helpful to somebody wanting to do this. I understand some guys probably wouldn't consider it. Like I said, it wasn't my first choice, but it'll get me on the road. And if I find a seat or a set of seats down the road, you know, that aren't thousands of dollars or whatever, I'll probably make the switch. But until then, I'll keep these, and I hope this helps. Thanks.